Hey there, this is FMA Chat here, welcoming you to the fourth and final part of my Star Wars speculation / timeline video regarding Palpatine's contingency plan. In this video, we'll be covering the events of the Rise of Skywalker. My apologies for any mispronunciations in dialogue, as I made mistakes before and in the previous videos. Now that we got the introduction out of the way, let's move on to the video.
At last the work of generations is complete. The great error is corrected. The day of victory is at hand. The day of revenge. The day of the Sith.
1 year after the Hosnian Cataclysm, a broadcast was transmitted across the galaxy, a threat of revenge in the sinister voice of Emperor Palpatine. The Sith Eternal had made themselves known. While Leia dispatches secret agents to investigate, Kylo Ren searches for the Phantom Emperor to ensure his power remains unchallenged. Leading an assault force on Mustafar, Kylo Ren decimates the Osmeg of Winset in search of Darth Vader's Sith Wayfinder, located in the ruins of Vader's Citadel. He locates the item and heads off to Exegol alone. Arriving at the Sith world Exegol, Kylo Ren ventures into the cathedral. He hears the voice of Darth Sidious. Threatening to kill him as he had killed Snoke, the Emperor responded that he had created Snoke himself. Ren discovers chambers containing clone bodies of the former Supreme Leader, validating Sidious's claims, which the Dark Lord then stated that Snoke was part of a test that Ren had passed by killing him, becoming the successor to the Sith. The Emperor then explains that the First Order was just the beginning, and that Sidious would give Ren so much more. When Ren has the decaying visage of the Emperor within a killing strike, he asks what Sidious would give him, to which the Emperor replies,
Everything. A new empire.
Rising from the desolate landscape of Exegol, the Sith fleet rise into the tempestuous sky. Palpatine offers the Sith fleet an Emperor of the Galaxy to Ren, in exchange of finishing the task that his grandfather Vader failed to accomplish, to end the legacy of the Jedi by killing Rey, warning the latter that she is not who Ren believes. Discovering a spy within their own ranks, Kylo Ren leads the Knights of Ren in pursuit of Rey, finding the Jedi apprentice along with Finn, Poe, Chewbacca, and the droids, C-3PO and BB-8 on Pasaana in search of the Bestoon Legacy, ship of the deceased Sith assassin Ochi. Chewbacca is captured by the Knights of Ren and brought onto a First Order troop transport. A forced struggle between Rey and Ren leads to Rey accidentally destroying a First Order troop transport with Sith lining. Believing she had accidentally killed Chewbacca, Rey flees with her comrades away from the planet, while the Millennium Falcon was confiscated and brought aboard the Steadfast for incineration. Having brought in a different troop transport, Chewbacca is brought into interrogation, where Kylo Ren attempted to find Rey's location via Force probe. Upon discovering the girl's location by the Knights of Ren, the Supreme Leader orders the Steadfast to head for a settlement on the planet Kijimi. Sensing the scavenger nearby, Ren confronts Rey in a Force bond, explaining the truth about her parents, which the latter tried to fight off in a saber duel, inadvertently giving away her and her comrades' location on the Steadfast. Poe and Finn locate Chewbacca but are captured and sentenced for execution, but are then rescued by General Hux, who reveals himself as the spy, seeking to undermine Ren out of spite. Kylo Ren then confronts Rey aboard the Star Destroyer, revealing her lineage as Palpatine's granddaughter. Stating that he and Rey are a Force dyad, Ren offers Rey to join him and overthrow the Emperor, which Rey declines before fleeing with Finn and the others on the Millennium Falcon. Seeing through the lies of General Hux, Pride executes him for treason. Kylo Ren tracks down Rey to Kev Bur aboard the wreckage of the second Death Star, destroying the Emperor's Wayfinder Rey had located. In rage, Rey engaged Ren in a saber duel, which ended with Ren hearing the call of his mother, Leia through the Force by using the last of her strength. In shock of his mother's death, Kylo was mortally wounded when Rey took his lightsaber and stabbed him. Sensing Leia's death through the Force, Rey realized that her former master had tried to call Ren back to the light. Believing it would have been what Leia would have done, Rey Force heals Ren's wound and his scar before leaving the planet on Ren's TIE Whisper Interceptor. In turmoil over the death of his mother and Rey's act of compassion, Ren contemplates on the wreckage of the Death Star. He is confronted by the visage of his father Han Solo, urging his son to come home. Realizing that Solo, Leia, and Rey had still believed in him, Ben Solo renounces the identity of Kylo Ren and throws his lightsaber into the ocean. Sensing the death of Leia and the redemption of Ben Solo, Darth Sidious contacts the de facto leader of the First Order, Allegiant General Pryde, to come to him on Exegol. Pryde pledges his allegiance to Palpatine as he had served him during the Galactic Empire, thus merging the First Order and the Sith Eternal into the final phase of Palpatine's Contingency, the Final Order. At the orders of the Emperor, Pryde sends the Zyston Star Destroyer, the Defarian, to destroy the planet Kijimi, as not only an act to punish the inhabitants of assisting the Resistance and a test demonstration, but to lure Rey and the Resistance to a final battle on Exegol, with Darth Sidious sensing Rey's pull to the dark side earlier. With final checkups needed, the Defarian returns to Exegol. Convinced by the force spirit of her former Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, Rey heads off to Exegol with Luke's old X-Wing, Red 5, using Vader's Wayfinder that Rey unknowingly taken from her from Curve Beth. Bringing both Anakin and Leia's lightsaber with her, Rey transmitted her path to the Resistance, allowing them to venture through the traitorous path to the Sith world, while former Rebellion General Lando Calrissian and Chewbacca head off on the Millennium Falcon to the core systems to try and recruit any of the free worlds to aid them. As Rey ventured into the Sith Citadel, the Resistance arrives and attempts to deactivate the navigation tower, but were thwarted when Allegiant General Pryde ordered the signal source to be transmitted to the Steadfast, forcing the ground team, led by Finn, to land on the resurgent Star Destroyer, engaging with numerous Sith troopers and Sith jet troopers on the Star Destroyer's surface, while Poe led the aerial forces to fend off the TIE daggers. Finn, defected First Order Stormtrooper Janna, and BB-8 were able to temporarily deactivate the navigation signal. Believing that no help will be coming, Poe orders the Resistance fighters to take out the Zyston Star Destroyers, the Defarian being the first destroyed, with Captain Sobran perishing on board. Rey confronts Palpatine in the throne room, which contained an arena that was filled with Sith loyalists. Sidious encourages her to take her place on the throne of the Sith, allowing his spirit to transfer into Rey's body. Despite Rey's refusal to take the throne and avenge her parents, Palpatine reveals the trap that he had laid out for her and the Resistance, once again encouraging her to strike him down to save her friends. Having stolen a TIE scout from the wreckage of the second Death Star on Curve Biff, Ben Solo infiltrates the Sith Citadel in hopes of aiding Rey, but was confronted and beaten down by the Knights of Ren. Sensing the presence of Ben Solo, Rey feigns going through with the Sith ritual. With their Force dyad now pure with Ben's redemption, Rey hands Anakin's lightsaber to Ben while using Leia's to fend off Palpatine's sovereign protectors. After defeating the Knights of Ren, Ben joins Rey to make a stand against the Emperor. Furious, Darth Sidious immobilizes the duo and attempts to drain their life force, discovering their connection as a Force dyad, as he had once tried to create with his former apprentice Darth Vader. The Sith philosophy, the Rule of Two, created by Darth Bane, was partly created to succeed the Order of the Force dyad, but was a pale imitation, an unworthy but necessary successor in comparison. Realizing their Force dyad could restore his decaying clone body, Darth Sidious drains the majority of Rey and Ben's life force, restoring and possibly stabilizing his clone body. Meanwhile, the TIE daggers pick apart the Resistance fighters. All hope seemed lost until Lando and Chewbacca arrived at Exegol, with an armada of ships and fighters that answered their call to the core systems to aid the Resistance. The tide of battle shifted as one by one the Zyston Star Destroyers were taken down. Having restoring himself to his former glory, Darth Sidious disposes Ben Solo by force-pushing him into an abyss nearby, out of revenge for his first death by the hands of Anakin Skywalker. Palpatine then shifted his wrath upon the Galaxy fleet, declaring to his minions,
"Nothing will stop the return of the Sith!"
The Sith Lord unleashes a powerful display of Sith lightning, disabling their ships, resulting in the destruction of various craft, including Leia's old rebellion ship, the Tentative 4, piloted by Nyan Nam. Hearing the voices of past Jedi, including her former master Luke Skywalker, his father Anakin, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, Qui-Gon Jinn, Ahsoka Tano, Mace Windu, Luminara Unduli, Aayla Secura, Kanan Jarrus, and Adi Gala, encouraging her and lending her the strength to carry on against the Sith Lord. Rey makes a last stand against Darth Sidious. Seizing his attack on the Resistance fleet, Palpatine launched a barrage of Force lightning at Rey, while claiming he is all the Sith. Blocking the Sith lightning, Rey responds that she is all the Jedi, calling upon Anakin's lightsaber with the Force. using both Skywalker lightsabers to deflect Sidious's attack onto him. Howling in agony, Darth Sidious disintegrates by the force of his own energy, causing a shockwave that decimated the entire arena and the Sith loyalists within. Meanwhile, having rewired one of the Steadfast's turbolasers during the ship's system restart, Finn and Janna turns it against the ship's bridge. Amidst the chaos of the failing resurgent Star Destroyer, reports of uprising throughout the galaxy were transmitted to the doomed ship. A horrified Pride runs out to the front of the bridge, seeing the Sith fleet that he had helped create being annihilated, realizing that the return of Emperor Palpatine could not revive the Empire, perishing when the bridge exploded into flames. Finn and Janna escapes in the Millennium Falcon as the Steadfast plummets into the surface of the planet, much like the fate of the Super Star Destroyer, the Executor, at the Battle of Endor. Rey dies from the sheer amount of power required to utterly destroy Sidious, an event felt by Finn, and her body collapsed to the ground. Ben, having survived his fall, sacrifices his life to revive Rey by transferring his life force to her, passing on into the Force. With the destruction of the Steadfast and no other way to escape Exegol, the Sith fleet was left in ruins on the planet's surface, as the Galaxy fleet, along with Rey, Finn and Poe, departed back into the known galaxy. Throughout the galaxy, uprisings against the remaining forces of the Final Order occurred, with several resurgent Star Destroyers being destroyed, Bespin, Endor, and Jakku to name a few of the planets rising up against in rebellion. Much like the Empire before them, the Final Order were all but defeated. And much more like the Jedi Order before them, the Sith Eternal had been vanquished. Emperor Sheev Palpatine, Darth Sidious, the last of the Sith, and former Galactic Emperor had finally been destroyed as his granddaughter, Rey, disowns her family name of Palpatine and inherits the Skywalker name and its legacy. And there you have it. That concludes my Star Wars speculation/timeline video of Palpatine's Contingency. That's all the information I have to speculate on how Palpatine planned to retake the galaxy, until any new releases of any Star Wars media, books, TV shows, comics, etc. provide more information about that subject. I hope you enjoyed watching these videos as I did making them. Thank you very much for watching these videos, and see you next time.